Consequences. Consequences are an important part of life. LIBS of TikTok. You may not even know what that is. If you don't, that's fine. Just know that you've seen it a lot. It's an account on a social media site called Twitter. You probably know what Twitter is. And this LIBS of TikTok account, all it does is it takes these TikTok videos, oftentimes of insane pedophiles and groomers of teachers, and it puts them onto Twitter. That's all the account does. It takes a video, never offers an opinion, puts the video on Twitter so everyone can see this is what these people are. And today, there was a big story in the Washington Post about it. Some communist journalist named Taylor Lorenz decides to run a story about LIBS of TikTok. Only Taylor Lorenz, right there in the article, included a link. They exposed who this person really is. Not going to go into it, obviously, on my show. The link, if you follow it, exposed this person's occupation, license number, and home address. So just making sure I wrap all this up for you here. An anonymous account that takes public videos from one website and puts them on another website has just had their name, occupation, and home address exposed by, I believe, the third biggest newspaper in the United States of America, which brings us to our point about consequences. What should be done about that? Because I'll tell you what we have done about that in the past. This is what we've done on the right. Look, I'm probably guilty of it too. That's not fair. You shouldn't do this. This is wrong. Someone condemn it. This is wrong. Should we condemn it? Let's write out a strongly worded letter. That's what we've done. But is that consequences? Does Taylor Lorenz to the Washington Post, do they genuinely care if you or I go on Facebook right now and say, this is unfair? No, they don't care. Those aren't consequences. Or we'll do this on the right. We love doing this. We point out the hypocrisy. Because it was just a couple weeks ago, Taylor Lorenz went on MSNBC and gave this interview whining about how people treat her.
You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
Man, so what would we do normally? What a hypocrite. She doesn't want to be harassed, but she's harassing people. The hypocrisy. But we've been doing all this, and they're not stopping. If anything, they're picking up steam. They're not slowing down. They're not stopping. They're not examining the error of their ways. They're not sitting at home thinking, dang it, they're right. I am a hypocrite. That's my bad. I'm going to change my ways. These things haven't worked because these things aren't consequences to the communist. The communist knows he's a hypocrite. He knows he's a liar. The communists, like Taylor Lorenz and also her editor, Christina Passariello, and also the former Twitter employee by the name of Travis Brown, who undoubtedly helped her track down all this information and helped Taylor Lorenz actually go to the homes of the relatives of the anonymous Twitter account. That's right, we have pictures of her knocking on the door of somebody's relative. But again, the communist understands consequences, and calling him a hypocrite is not consequences. What are we prepared to do to stop this? Because calling them liars and hypocrites doesn't work. The communist is religiously committed to what he believes. Taylor Lorenz doesn't think she's a communist, or doesn't think she's a liar, or doesn't think she's a hypocrite. She thinks she's a religious zealot out there campaigning on behalf of her God. And a religious zealot cannot be dissuaded by accusations of lying or hypocrisy. A religious zealot is only ever dissuaded by force. What do I mean? Someone needs to go knock on the home of her relatives. As a reporter, nothing violent. Private information needs to be exposed, and relatives and Taylor herself should be asked questions at their front door. Now, that may make you uncomfortable. Maybe you're sitting there cringing right now. I don't like that, Jesse. I don't like that. I don't want to live in a country like that. But do you get to pick what kind of country you live in? I sure don't. That's what we have. If we want this kind of vile behavior to stop, we will either stop it or it's going to go on forever. You can sit at home saying, hypocrite, and see if the communist backs off. I say we should mobilize, and when things like this are done, we return fire, in a lawful way, go knock on someone's door, ask some questions on camera, we return fire, and see if they don't second guess the next time they think about doing such things.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, The Forgotten Genocide, the first episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.